Let's get Pat up here. Where are you, Mr. Pat? DED, W7DED. Okay, so Pat, if I have this correct, I think, is this correct that you're head of the tech committee?
I am.
He's retired and he's helping us out. And I asked him to give a short talk. There's no time commitment today, so we're not tight. About the repeaters, what's going on, some challenges, some upgrades, some whatever. So here's Pat. Thanks, Pat.
Thanks, Barry. So that's what happens when you don't show up at meetings. You get appointed to committees. Anyway, real quickly, I made a bullet list, so I will be brief. The most recent issue that we've had, of course, was Grand Sierra, as everybody knows. At least, especially the people that use it regularly. That repeater went down the day before yesterday, I think it was. It appears to be a power-related issue. John Byerly and 7ROJ made some phone calls to the folks down there. The Grand Sierra, as you could possibly imagine, it's had a high turnover over the years, and we didn't have an inside contact there anymore. So getting up there would have been challenging if John had not called and got us some contacts again. So we have arrangements to get up there and get it serviced soon. We're pretty confident it's a power-related issue, as the whole thing is dead. The repeater, and there's a 420 link radio that's there that is not working either. So we're pretty sure it's a power-related issue. It's one of the old GE Master 2s. For those of you that might be familiar with those are 70s technology radios, but they still work, but not in this case. I have a spare power supply for it, and we had a few spare parts over in the club storage. I grabbed that yesterday, so we're ready to go up and get it fixed as soon as we can get access. The next item on my list is Mount Rose. We have the interference that gets into the Urington, or the link radio that talks to Urington, to the Lobdell repeater. I did get up there a couple of weeks ago and put in the IM panel on the 1.5 repeater, and that didn't solve the problem. So I have some other ideas. The repeater transmit antenna and that link antenna are literally this far apart from each other. If we can get our cable issue resolved for the top of the tower, there'll be some vertical separation between those. That probably will help immensely. So, and that was one of the other things I wanted to mention. We swept the cable that goes to the receive antenna on top of the AT&T tower up there at Mount Rose, and the cable has moisture in it. And that's why Mount Rose does not work as well as it should. So that's one of the sites that we're planning to get a new cable run put up the tower. Hopefully as soon as possible. It's probably going to take some close coordination with Mr. Metz, since it's his site. So we will be working on that. Can everybody hear me okay? I feel like I'm not loud enough. Okay. The next item on my list is Virginia Peak. As everybody knows, it's still in its crossband configuration. It gets a lot of descents as a result of a lot of loose hardware up there. I've made numerous trips up there this year already, and it's probably on the order of 6 trips, I think, trying to get this issue resolved. We added a bandpass filter to the repeater. I've swapped out the duplexers. I temporarily took down our 6-meter repeater antenna that's up there because it appeared to be causing some of our noise issues. But the biggest noise generator up there is the fence, the chain link fence that's around the Nevada Energy site that's adjacent to us up there. If you go up there and do a noise test, and rattle that fence, the noise just goes off the scale. And it's killing us. It's causing us at least 20 dB of descents. So that pretty much kills HT use down here. That's why it's in this crossband configuration. It doesn't repeat, but you can still talk through it, and it goes through and outputs to all the other repeaters in the network. But you just can't have a conversation through it. One of the next things I was going to try was reducing the output of the transmitter on that box. It's putting out 50 watts. The old Master 2 that used to be up there was putting out 25 watts, and it seemed to be okay. So I'm going to turn the power down on it. That might, I mean, it'll help the problem a little bit, I'm sure, and maybe we'll be able to put it back into its normal mode. The next thing on my list is the Toulon APRS radio. Last year we took a lightning hit to that antenna. Yeah, we had to replace it. So I brought the radio, the last time I was up there, I brought the radio back and checked it out to make sure that it didn't get fried. And fortunately, the radio and the TNC are fine. And I have a Telewave single element folded dipole that will go back up in the Diamond X50's place. That was the antenna that got smoked. So that's ready to go. It's just sitting in my garage. I've got to get time to drive back out there and get it installed. The next item on my list is Winnemucca Mountain. I know this one's near and dear to Jim. He's been pestering me to get that back up there. We have a couple of Master 3s that are programmed up. One on VHF, one on UHF, that will replace the repeater and the link up there. And they're ready to go. We just got to drive out there and install them. There's going to be some challenge to doing the swap out because we have one rack that all of our equipment is in. We've got a 6-cavity duplexer that is mounted in the bottom of the rack, then the power supply and the repeater and the link radio, and that pretty much takes up the entire rack. 2 Master 3s by themselves take up just about the entire rack. Okay, then cool. So we'll make it work. Anyway, we'll get Winnemucca tied back in. All of the linking at Toulon is completed. So whenever we get out there to Winnemucca and get that equipment installed, it'll be plug and play. She'll just come up and talk into the rest of the network. A couple of other items. The Forest Service is bugging us for our lower Peavine site. We've got to remove the old chain link fence up there, and we've got to do some site cleanup. They want us to do some brush and weed removal. So I've been talking to those guys, and we will get it scheduled and go get that done. One of the other outstanding items related to that site is the right-of-way for that site is still in WADG's name, and we're trying to get it transferred into SNARS. The fence removal and the brush cleanup is all part of what they're requiring us to get completed before they'll finalize our right-of-way. I've been working with the Forest Service on that. They've got everything ready to go for the name change, but they want us to get this site maintenance done first. And I think there's a $170 cost recovery fee associated with that, Doug, so I'll be sending you a bill.
They'll be sending.
Well, yes, they'll be sending a bill, and I'll be forwarding it to Doug. The last thing I had on my list is we have some new control operators in our group. We had a class last weekend. I want to thank everybody that showed up for that. I still have one class pending. We'll end up with a total of 10 control operators that will be able to help us with issues throughout the network. I should have had all the names handy, but I don't have the names.
Go home and get it.
I'll send out a telegram message. They know who they are. I want to thank them for their commitment to SNARS and helping us out with that very important function. I think that's all I got. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. So first of all, thanks, Pat. Appreciate it. Just the GSR, in case somebody doesn't know, it's the 147.300. So thanks for that. And somebody reported it. Actually, it was Bill Foltz. He emailed me, said, "Is it down or is it in repair?" I go, "Huh?" So I put a telegram. I put a telegram, and then John says, "Huh?" And then we pass it around. So if something isn't right, just email snars at snars.org, and somebody will get back to you.
Telegram.
Or Telegram. Telegram. Thank you. So how many people are on Telegram?